We would like to welcome two-time major champion Collin Morikawa to the Media Center. Collin, what's it like being back here?
This was my third start as a professional, so it's obviously nice coming back to this place. I haven't played well the past couple of years, but you always remember kind of that first summer. It feels like it was yesterday, and feels like there's been a lot of tournaments in between that and now, but I'm excited to get this week going and hopefully put together, 4 really, really strong rounds.
You're coming into this week off of 3 top 5 finishes in your last 4 starts. What's the game plan for this week, and how do you plan to feed off that momentum?
To win. This is I think this is 10 out of 12 weeks for me, so it's kind of the most I've really ever played in my career, and it's just to kind of continue what I'm doing, kind of refine a few things, but for the most part, kind of use my head as best as I can to navigate around this golf course and make things as easy as possible.
We'll open it up to questions. Start over here.
So, Collin, you're an LA kid like me, and this heat out here today and this week, it hits different. How does that affect your game?
Yeah, I actually live in Vegas now, so I'm kind of used to the heat. It's a lot more humid, but we do it every week. This past kind of summer has been past kind of month has been really hot, so I'm used to it by now. But I don't spend that much time on the golf course. I kind of do my work, get out when I need to, and call it a day. So it's not that bad.
Right next.
You talked about the Masters and even before, just kind of battling your swing and figuring things out with that. With this kind of consistent top play that you've shown yourself, do you feel like you're not battling the swing as much anymore?
Yeah, it's a lot easier. I'm not getting as frustrated. I'm not getting mad over bad shots because I know the good shots are really good now. But it's tough because it's such a fine line. I look back at where I was, let's call it February, right? February, March, and sometimes it's just like one small thing that keeps you going. And I thought I found something even at Augusta, and then a week and a half later, I'm on a completely different swing thought. So that's golf. That's how I kind of operate, at least, that I kind of rotate around a handful of swing thoughts, and you just cycle through those. And right now, it's a nice little thing that I've got going, and hopefully I just kind of continue that, especially with irons.
I remember talking to Kurt and Minwoo, I think, at the PGA, and they recalled seeing you on the range and saying maybe, the solution isn't as far off as you often think. Is that something maybe you've realized in the last few months?
Yeah, but it's tough because when it's not going well, you don't really know what to look for, and you have your coach there and you have people around to kind of tell you this and that, but you never really know, and that's the hardest part, is that whether you're trying to find something to make it better, or you're trying to, you're always trying to make something better, but whatever you're trying to find, if you're not hitting it well and you're trying to be a little bit better, or you're hitting it great and you want to make it a little bit even more precise, sometimes you don't really know what you're looking for. And when you go down a rabbit hole, which we always do, it takes us down these paths that it sounds good for that split second, but then you realize a month later or a week later that maybe I shouldn't have done that. So for me, I don't regret anything I've done, and I had to go through it. It's just now it's really just knowing the pieces to kind of put it together and saying, okay, this is the basics of what I need, and then kind of work off that.
Go up here, front left.
Colin, there have been some minor changes that have been made to the golf course, but at 6,800 yards and change, it perennially gives up really low scores. You shot 63 here last year on Friday. Do you see anything that's going to change that trend? Are you still going to anticipating seeing, really, really low scores here?
Yeah, I think, there's a few holes. I played the front today. 7 changes my kind of strategy a little bit before you can kind of bomb driver up there, but the long fescue on the left, you might lose a ball. I would say, with POA greens and even if it doesn't rain, it looks like there might be a little bit of rain, but even if it doesn't rain, these greens still act on the softer side. And I think when you see soft greens, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, that's when we make a lot of birdies. And guys are able to go at pins a little bit more and get a little bit closer. So it is what it is. I shot 7 under, but I think I still missed the cut, and I shot 4 over the first day or something. So there's going to be a lot of low scores, I think.
And coming towards the end of a stretch of really high, really sort of challenging tournaments, do you find that it's more difficult for you to deal with physical fatigue or mental fatigue and sort of just being mentally tired at the end of a longer run?
Yeah, you're mentally fatigued, I think, when you're in contention. So, after Memorial, you definitely feel the weight of that. After kind of the past month, you feel it. But for me, like I said, I get enough rest. I feel great. I kind of know what I need to do when I'm out there, and I don't spend too much time just being out on the golf course because that's what other guys are doing. So I feel like I've kind of had a nice balance to make sure I'm not fatigued, even though this is, like I said, this is 10 out of 12 for me.
Everything okay?
I think.
Yeah, I'll send something right now. Okay. Anyone else? Here.
Does it feel like where you're at with your game, the last kind of notch is just to get a win with where you're feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I still haven't felt like I've hit my irons as good as I want. And when that happens, hopefully the putter gets hot, and that's how you put together 4 really, really good rounds. But I feel like I'm at a point right now where even with my game, even if it doesn't happen to be the A game, it's like I could still contend and have a chance to win. And if you're in the final few groups on a Sunday, you've got a chance. So hopefully we can kind of continue that.
How have you enjoyed the cadence of both the signature events and kind of mishmashed with the majors? We got another major coming up here in a few weeks.
It's been a lot. I feel like I think this year has just felt a little bit more of a sprint, let's call it. But I think that's just because of the season not having a fall portion, or at least not having a fall portion that's counted towards this season. I think that's an adjustment, but I have nothing wrong with it. I mean, every other sport, they're playing every day, every few days. Granted, our weeks are a lot longer, and yeah, we get pretty drained as well. But a lot of these tournaments I would have played no matter what, wherever they were in the schedule, and you kind of work around them. So it kind of worked out in my favor where I wanted to play the week before a major. A lot of them lined up like that. So just kind of continue that.
I asked Skyler this before. Since you're going to be going to Paris representing the U.S. in the Olympics, do you anticipate that you guys who are going to be on the team going, that you'll act, for lack of better words, as a team? Or do you think the best way for the U.S. to win a medal that you can contribute is for you to sort of go about it as if it was almost a regular week-to-week tournament, that you sort of need to sort of stay doing it yourself and not necessarily share and work as a 4-man pod?
No, I mean, I think we're going to do a lot of practice rounds together. In Tokyo, we played practice rounds all together. If a guy, didn't want to go out at a certain time, but I remember in Tokyo, I think 4 of us, or at least 3 of us every day would go and play together. At the end of the day, yeah, it is still an individual competition. There is no team aspect of it. It'd be cool if there was, but, the caddies are definitely going to scout the course together. They're going to do all the prep together. A lot of sharing information, just as if it were, a Ryder Cup or President's Cup, kind of in that sense. But when it comes down to it on Thursday, it's our event. It's our own individual event.
All right. Thank you, Collin.